Welcome back to the 2024 World Dodgeball Championships here in Graz, Austria. This is the last match of the day. You're listening to Ben Johnson and
Elisa Westman.
Well, we are soon to be watching the men's foam. Denmark on the short end, and Ivory Coast on the far end. Denmark and Côte d'Ivoire. Elisa, tell me about the previous match we watched. It was quite the duel.
It was quite the nail biter. So for those just tuning in, you just missed an incredible game of women's foam dodgeball between the United States and Canada. Fair to say, probably one of the biggest rivalries here at this tournament. Teams that face off pretty often, and here we were facing off day one. This was also a first for me, being on the women's foam team this time around.
Yeah.
But boy, why don't you tell me what it was like watching it from up here, because I know I was in the thralls down there.
Well, it was fun because we had kind of the sections. It's so great with so many other teams representing the same countries. So we had this sort of Canadian contingent here. We had some USA, the chants going on. It was hard to even get a line of sight. And particularly what I loved was that first half, just so close. They like catches to win matches. It was unfortunate. I think of you whenever I hear a line out. I think the line is lava, and that was I think it was at the end of the first half that happened like 3 times in a row. Yeah, tell me from the ground floor.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, I think it's about as close as a game can be. It came down to no blocking, essentially, whether the game was going to be a win or a tie. So here in round robin, we could end games with a tie, and that would be your score and how things would be tallied going forward. And down to the no block, it was catching out 3 times in a row for the United States, really making it an exciting ending. Canada did come away with the win, but I mean, it's fair to say that it was a close game all the way through. At the half, Canada was up by 2, then USA came out, scrapped back, tied it up. It was back and forth really the whole time. So if you didn't get a chance to watch it, do recommend go back and watching that game. But it does look like our players are getting lined up here in front of us. I'm going to say, unlike the U.S. versus Canada game, these two teams have probably never faced off against each other.
It's a safe assumption.
So I haven't had a chance to see either of these teams yet this tournament. Have you been?
No, this is their first time on stream.
And I think for actually both of these teams, this is their first time at Worlds. Neither of these teams were, at Worlds previously. So I'm also not 100% sure how new the foam ball in general is to some of these countries. For a lot of countries, we're a foam dominant country or a cloth dominant country. And this is kind of one of the first tournaments where they're bringing a lot of teams and learning about this other ball type and rule set. So I think into this game with fresh eyes.
And to your point, looking at, I see Ivory Coast is listed.
I do believe they're elephants, yeah. One of the most fun things. All the different countries' uniforms and how they choose to represent themselves. And of course, there's a bunch of jersey trading that happens the last day. I've got my eye on a few, I must say.
It's an interesting formation by Ivory Coast. Ready, set, on target. First elimination quickly. Will be their burden to throw. So throw, no damage. And 2 right on target, making it 5-on-5. Very good, clear signaling. I really appreciate it when players do that.
Yep.
Saves the team from dumping an extra ball.
Denmark pushing that line.
The Tobias Everhoy on the left wing. Yeah,
Oh, and it does look like we've already, we may have lost a ball, so we're waiting for a ball to come back in.
And meanwhile, the referee's going to throw extra in. Say, don't throw yours in.
And maybe there's a rip in a ball. Oh no, so they just can't find the other ball. So they're pulling a new one in. And they're off.
Now, one thing we probably won't see too much of with these teams is the counter in the moment. Good up and down action on the left wing still for Denmark. 4 men in the attack zone. Not connecting. And as you said before, this is just a great example of the sport continuing to expand. I mean, there's so many teams with men's, women's, mixed division, foam cloth, and expanded countries.
Absolutely. It's really exciting seeing some countries pick up the new ball type, whatever that means for them, because you really don't know what to expect coming here into the world stage. As I said, I'm on one of the teams, and we've tried scouting some of these European countries, and it makes it very difficult when, we maybe can only find cloth videos or whatever it might be for them, but it's really fun to see how much people have improved maybe since the last time we saw them at the world stage 2 years ago, when it was the first time we had cloth and foam for WDBF.
Meanwhile, 3v4. Burden to throw, Denmark. Send to, none connecting. So it's a little hot in here.
That is the understatement.
We could, the humidity, we've made the tournament MVP the mop.
Yes, and in some of these games, you have to stop almost every play to mop the ground because it's dangerous. It actually is quite dangerous to slip and slide.
So how would you suggest teams manage in this heat?
I don't know. If you have a good secret, let me know, because I don't think we figured it out quite yet. I will say that there are 2 gymnasiums for this tournament. This one that we are in called the Blue Box. There are 3 courts. The Hot Box. There's 3 courts here. The other gymnasium has 8 courts. Also very warm.
Good
but
catch.
I do believe this one is warmer.
Yeah. Well, it's compact.
Yeah.
There's nowhere for it to go.
Nowhere for it to go. So there, you're really dripping sweat before you even step on the court.
Or even if you don't step on the court.
Yes.
Just sitting here has been just exhausting.
And as you mentioned, this is the last game of the day too. So for a lot of teams, you've played maybe multiple games, and the heat and the dehydration is probably kicking in.
Big factor. Meanwhile, we got Antonello Esposito on the left wing there, number 23. Wearing the captain badge. Number 18, Kenneth Nielsen, communicating him with a play call, going up against 4 players for Ivory Coast. We'll get a better sense of who's who for Côte d'Ivoire once they flip sides. But I can see number 17 is on the left wing for Côte d'Ivoire. That would be Ko Akur. Good rips on his end. Adama Kone, number 7, rolls that ball over.
Oh, beautiful toe shot by number 18.
Yeah, he does a half jumping jack, but that's into the ball. Passing in the middle. Oh, 2 balls colliding. That makes them inert. Number 12, Pili Bali, he's the right wing, readies, sets, he's the target, and lets one rip himself. 3v2, still first set, right? Women's Ivory Coast team has joined. There's some cheering in the corner. Probably got to think, with the heat and the humidity, the biggest factor as we're now in that 1v3 is just holding on to a ball.
Oh, for sure, and that is why you're seeing some of these balls soar high, because they do slip with them being so wet. So watching at home and you see that happen, that's definitely a big factor here. One player
Like
left
that.
in for Denmark, number 23,
Captain,
Antonello Esposito. Did I say that right?
say Esposito?
Esposito?
Not Despacito.
No, we don't want him to go slower. We want him to go faster. Oh, and big
good
catch.
grips.
Number 12 for the Ivory Coast.
Koulibaly. So, unsung hero of a jersey is the number on the shorts. Now, one thing you can tell with a kind of a newer team to that foam format is we don't yet have a player that does that full out rush and like no slowdown. Good moves. The grips on Côte d'Ivoire. Difference maker so far. It's a real trick on the opening rush. Just avoid decelerating. Just to like go and then hit full stop. Or some players like to do that slide.
Yes, you are allowed to cross that middle line just during the rush. So that is a trick and an advantage that some teams use to get that ball as quickly as possible.
Flips the left shoulder. Good throw, right wing. Kenneth Nielsen again. Turfs the ball, as does his teammate. Wrestling back. Dosu, number 3, gets a ball in hand, ready's on defense. Good movement on his part, getting nice and low.
And the mop coming back out. Mop's going to get a lot of use this week.
Yeah. So we're estimating 12 minutes remaining. Fortunately,
Yes.
we're not linked up to the ground floor anymore.
The clock did break. I will say that it happened during the warm-ups of our USA-Canada game. Maybe we were coming in with a little too much heat, excited to play.
You match the theme of the day. It's too much heat.
Yeah.
Now 4v4. We said both teams new to this format, but they are evenly matched up so far. Now on the left wing for Denmark, Tobias Elverhøy. Good job getting out of the way, and this slug trail keeps happening here. I think I'd be ineligible to play because just every movement I'd be marking up the court. Cause like a delay of game for my team. Hard throw, wide of its target. Fabrizio
Raised his hair. It sounds like, looks like the ref is motioning.
Number 5 waits back. Good throw in between the wickets. Great arm on number 3 for Côte d'Ivoire. Siko Doso. Doso communicating with teammates. Gets back in the center. Asi lets it rip. 4-3 right now. throw wide of target.
Good dodge.
Yeah, good play call. Oh, and that.
Oh, and
The
he's
center line out?
center line.
Out, yeah. The line is undefeated, as they say. Good throws again. Pump fakes that. Getting nicely out of the way. Burden to throw on Denmark. 2-ball block.
Oh,
At
and
the line.
good toe shot.
Really appreciate how well coordinated Ivory Coast is. It's
Oh, definitely.
just the socks, the knee pads, the shorts.
Oh, I thought you meant like.
Oh, the throws. Yeah.
Yes.
yeah. But
Outfits are on
I
point
could have
as
just
well.
stopped at the well coordinated. But to your point, oh, and right on target, in and out of the breadbasket. Now 2-2. Just another example of how evenly matched these two teams are.
And again, we are in pool play. Today is the first day of pool play. 2 more days of this. These games will determine ranking going into bracket play, and honestly, what teams will even make it to bracket play, because only the top 16 will move on after Wednesday.
Just mentioning a pool is just cruel punishment right now. In the men's foam, Group A represents the one we're speaking of right now. So with Ivory Coast and Denmark is Spain, England, New Zealand, and Malaysia. And I would, of course, say Malaysia is the favorite among that Group A.
I think that's fair to say. England also giving them a good show yesterday during the opening games.
Malaysia, the men's foam champions from 2022. High and outside with that throw. Yeah, not with that one. Perfect placement. Cheers from fellow Ivory Coast teammates as Assy gets a rip and delivers. 2-0 now.
Denmark calling a timeout.
Did you have any timeouts during the last match?
Yes, both teams called a timeout. Again, it was a nail biter, so sometimes it's a very strategic thing.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say, like, well, what would be some of the uses of a timeout?
This wasn't how it was done in that game, but if you have one player left in and you need to give them a breather,
Yep.
It was discussed at one point. If the player needs us to call a timeout, needs the coach to call a timeout to signal.
Especially in this weather. Oh.
Which there were a few games where there was one person left in for a long time. A very common thing is to call a timeout if you want to stop the other team's momentum.
Yep.
If they're getting hot, they're getting on a roll, you want to take a break to slow that down as much as you can. I think that is that happened both timeouts, as each team called one when the other team started getting hot.
Little surge protector. Strategic wait and delivers, but on ball. Staying alive. Fabrizio Sureto. With some cheers. And a sneaky throw by the left winger for Denmark. Manages to retrieve possibly the same ball he threw. 2 crisscross in the counter, hits the ball retriever, not a player. Burden to throw on Denmark, they send one. Got a little drop to that throw. You okay? All right, on target there. Hansen is eliminated. 4 balls for 5 players. It's 5-on-5. Another, just a heater of a throw. Oh, that's unfortunate when you're strafing out of the way, go into the ball.
Yeah, and now they're on a roll. They're feeling themselves now. It's up to Denmark to kind of stop this momentum.
This will be the last we see of Ivory Coast being unranked. In a great game right now. All up and ineligible for a catch. But that's the notorious sweat stain. The ball has to stay there. Both sides ready. Player advantage on Ivory Coast. Strong attack on Denmark. Watch out, shot clock counting down against Ivory Coast.
Yeah, smart move by Denmark. It's up to Ivory Coast to throw that ball because that one ball just on the other side of the line.
Close on the back line with the solo ball. Was there a line out? Oh. Or someone touched the ball that shouldn't, and now it needs to be rolled back. Referee using a little visual language to confirm a rule.
I do believe the refs are conferring.
What do we have here? So we might be saying if you're an ineligible player, you shouldn't have touched the ball, so we need to roll it back. Confirmed. Once again, Ivory Coast, 4 players. Denmark with 3. They've got the ball advantage. Watch number 18. Nielsen was 2 in hand. He sends a lefty, sends one. You don't often see the lefty being a right winger. Must have a great arm. Bird to throw, Ivory Coast, they've got the player advantage. Ready, set, solo throw. Just low of Nielsen, despite the cheers from fans. Ivory lets it rip, he gets the ball back. No damage with that throw. And they're sending it this time, connecting. Now 4-2. Good throw, better block. All apiece for Cote d'Ivoire men. Have you been learning some German for this trip?
I mean, very few words.
Danke.
Danke schön, yes, danke. But I will, you know, they
Sprechen Sie English? That's a good one to learn.
most Germans actually, yes, speak English.
Yeah, exactly.
Very well.
And they're like, yes,
much
perfectly.
better than my German would ever
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
So,
Good active blocking here. Kenneth Nielsen, a.k.a. Keno. also watched some cloth games today?
I have
would
watched
suspect.
some cloth games, yes.
Well,
Yeah, a few. There's, they're very close, a lot of them that I've seen, because they, this is the main ball type here in Europe, and so a lot of these countries are very experienced, know the rules, know their strengths, so when they face off against each other, it's usually a pretty good match. But what I think is fun is that the countries like Canada, the United States, that have not necessarily played it to a huge extent previously are coming back now after 2 years, a lot more experience in their belts and practice, and I think it'll be fun to see how they do against a lot of these European nations that play it much more regularly.
Had a lot of people like dedicated themselves. Like I think in 2022 it was like it's the alt format. Now it's some people's primary type. As the hit is made, another point on the board. 3-0. Côte d'Ivoire over Denmark.
And we're guessing on the time that's left, or it looks
Wow,
like now it's the half.
There's end up. Yeah. It was a very quick no block. Well, here I was going to say, like, once we're on this half, we get a sneak peek at who's who. Instead of last names, it's just Dodgeball Côte d'Ivoire.
Yes, we can see their numbers a bit better this time.
Small. Oh, I guess they've got some of their players are doing ball retrieving. Otherwise, I was going to say small squad. Often playing in the first half was Acho Patrick Kanahasi, who's just getting up from the back line there, so he's moving to being a ball retriever. And both teams taking their time for huddles. Was the publicly shareable information from huddles for Team USA.
Sorry, what was what?
So like what's publicly shareable of a huddle time for Team USA? Like, is it, hey, here's what our strategy is, or good work team?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of everything. Does depend on what's going on. Really focusing on positivity.
Okay, yeah.
That's a big thing.
The
We want to make
vibes.
sure that vibes are very important. I want to lift everyone up, lift each other up, because I think it's fair to say it's a very emotionally driven team that, like, when you start to feel that you're going down or not.
Well,
feeling
maybe
as
self-critical,
positive.
and if you're like kind of just, oh, I could have done this. You got to have that
easy
coach.
to spiral.
Yeah,
right?
you got to have your team lift you up.
Yeah, absolutely. So focusing on positivity is a big goal of this tournament. And I think that's not just our team. I would say that's every team, that when you start to feel down, it's very quick to let that spiral. So you have to be very mentally tough and not allow for one bad play or one bad game to drive the momentum for the whole 40 minutes.
And you got to step outside yourself. And that moment of kind of handing the praise over to others, and it kind of cycles around that energy, because, anyone who's played, when you're kind of feeling dark, it permeates. So and the good vibes do as well, and the catches at the end. Those are vibes, right? When you're feeling it, you're on.
How exciting are those? Catching out. Keep the game alive.
It looks like we're ready for the second half. Placement is just so right there for Côte d'Ivoire. Making sure everyone's lined up. Pretty tight formation here. Okay, now they're spreading out. And a error pump fake. No strikes on either end, but the burden is on Denmark. The last point was on Ivory Coast. If we're being technical, it would have been Ivory Coast, but Denmark likes to hit the offense. Hop, hop, good coordination and play work there.
Absolutely, and love a good toe shot. Good foot shot, not much you can do about it.
Hansen in the middle, he rips it hard. Not on target, but meanwhile, number 2 for Côte d'Ivoire, he's eliminated. The sumo Robert Bro. Ooh. Guess I didn't see it bounce. It looked like it flew in on his hand. That was a ground first. 4v5. Denmark bring this one in. We'll go 2 on target, but hit ground first, confirmed by the referee. Four men, 4 balls in the attack, so only send 1. The one thing I'd say for Denmark is they're fairly quick to retreat back. Good ups, but not good enough. Those 2 perfectly placed balls. And we are confirming an out. 4 players to 3. Play call, Ivory Coast, shot clock counting down against them. Watch the left side. So the throw, counter's very good. The counter's great. At the line, and a counter.
Down to 2-1 very quickly. Several hits back and forth. But Ivory Coast with the player advantage.
Bakayoko on the left. Kone on the right. Preemptive throw. Getting out of the way. Shot clock on Côte d'Ivoire. And right on target. Taking out Nielsen.
Still lots of time left in the second half. And again, this is the last game of the day here for round robin play, day 1 of WBBF World Championships here in Graz, Austria. But join us back again tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m. Austria time. So if you're watching us back in the States, that is midnight. So stay up all night, watch lots of foam dodgeball. We'll be back here tomorrow as well.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and playoffs finalized on Saturday. Whew. Just getting out of that way. Full court for Côte d'Ivoire. Going in between players on Denmark. Denmark on offense. Send 1. And a slow retreat. Play call time by Côte d'Ivoire. Preemptive throw, no strike. Resets the shot clock. Back and forth, and in the gloves.
Great catch by Denmark.
Trabezio, Soretto. As he was making his way back down, hit the hip and didn't leave. So hot that we have to have a dedicated fan on that laptop. Ever so briefly was on. Oh my God, it's on us right now. 5 to 3 players to 3. Burden to throw on Denmark. Watch 2 in hand for 23. He ready, sets, delivers on his opposing winger. Ably blocked by Doso. Woo, that trailer does it. Watch those balls. Look up. Nothing doing. Burden on Denmark. First one did it. How about your French?
Probably as good as my German.
Taking a moment here, play call as that ball comes in, making the most of every moment. Reset time, gotta put a foot on the back. And we're ready to go. Ball burden, Ivory Coast. They rip it. Good 1-2 throws. Ably blocked by number 34 for Denmark. Oscar Yilmaz. Two, turf low. Ball burden, Denmark.
It does look like in Denmark's headshots that they are a cloth playing team as well.
Yeah, there's a giveaway. You've seen that with the North American players that got selected to, well, at least I noticed on Canada, is it's a 1v4. It's like, show us your favorite shot. Oh, right on the back. Speaking of shots, that was a brilliant one. Great play so far this match.
Timeout.
Doso. Timeout called by Denmark.
I don't know. It looked like he was pointing to Cote d'Ivoire, which is interesting. I don't know why they would need to take a timeout right now.
Okay, yeah.
They were on a bit of a roll, but maybe they just want to have
a going well for them.
Opportunity to catch a breath and pump each other up.
Oh, a little vibes moment here. That cheer.
How's your jet lag?
I use an app called Time Shifter, and it's really helpful. You have to commit to several days in advance, starting to change your patterns. It's not bad, although I didn't get that much sleep last night. I woke up kind of early. Partly too is like the low temperature here. It's not low. Do you have air conditioning where you're staying?
No, there's not a lot of air conditioning.
Yeah, what we thought was a right was a privilege apparently here. Throw in between targets. Burn the throw will be on Denmark. Trailer connects. Koa unable to pull it in. Nice and low. I've seen lots of him for Denmark. That's a Danilo Esposito. Good retrieving, although there's one more to go, and he gets it. Ball retriever also, so now we've got 5 balls. There's 6 men now in the attack zone. They unleash a couple, but do not connect. Do we have a violation? You can't scoop. Because it'd be like falling onto the ground.
Yeah, but you can reach for a ball out of bounds and pick it up.
That's the weird part about like the magic of when you've touched that ball. It is suddenly not touching the ground the moment you pull it up. So it's like the idea, because like if you were falling and then you use the ball to like keep your balance off the court, you're out.
Yes.
But the opposite motion is just fine, of lifting that ball off the ground. Woo! Man, Ivory Coast has brought it back. Now only 3 remaining for Denmark. Send a couple, refs confirming. You're out. Yep. The shell counts. Burden to throw on Côte d'Ivoire.
That tells me that balls are probably a bit wet. Some of them soaring a little bit high.
that I think that was a little bit off speed and it just floated right into his breadbasket.
Oh yeah, sometimes those off-speed balls are the ones that really get you. You're expecting fastball and something that just goes a little slow and a little lobby throws you off just enough that it'll catch you off guard.
Counter not connecting, nor does the primary throw. Burden on Denmark. Good throws. And confirming that, 7 was out, but not the player on Denmark. Oh, but he's saying something else hit me. Now 2v2. Ball burden on Denmark. Is there a chance to get a point on the board?
And again, yes, that was the same thing where he got hit out and then he tried to stop the ball rolling near him. You cannot change or alter any kind of impact in the game, which is why the line ref passed the ball to the other side. 1v1 here. Denmark brought it back, took advantage of a few moments.
No, our mob. I love this dedication right now. It's just like, we don't need the handle, just go at it. Hopefully his knee pads aren't super soaked.
Yes. 1v1, this might be Denmark's chance to get on the board.
On Ivory Coast, Bro going up against that. Is that Nielsen? It is. Unless that's a 10. No, that's not. That's Nielsen. Ready, set, right on target. Good 2-ball block. Great charge and goodbye opportunity for Denmark. Now 5-0. Oh, 6-0. 6-0.
8 minutes left on the game clock. Still out of time for probably another couple of matches.
+1, 6. Côte d'Ivoire. Big cheers right now. The ball not activated? Or what? False start. Yeah, false start. Well, Lisa, would you like to tell us the false start rules?
So when a player leaves that back line, you have to start with 1 foot on the back line, you have the other foot inside the line. You have to stay on that line until the whistle blows. At that point, then you can take off and get those center balls. But if a player were to be a little trigger happy and leave that a moment too soon, that's what we would call false start. You get 1 warning, and after the first warning of a false start, if you do it again in the same half, so the same 20-minute period, you have to play the next game down a player, which is a huge disadvantage. I do believe that player can be caught back in.
Is the equivalent of being hit up, yes.
Yes. But to start off without even having the balls in your hands, one player down, that is obviously a pretty harsh reality. So you want to be very careful that you do not leave that back line even a second too soon.
Not sure what needs clarifying here by these refs. But we're ready to go. We're underway. Good shot in between targets though. Great dodging out of the way. Ivory Coast. That would be Mamadou Dosso. Ooh, just getting out of the way of those balls on Denmark. Oscar Yilmaz. He's got a ball in hand. He sends it. And gets the out. Player advantage now for Denmark. Ball advantage for Ivory Coast. Any word of the USA score in court 3? Looks like that one's complete. Has another hit here. Denmark's best chance. Another player advantage. Watch the middle. It's the wing. Kenneth Nielsen, who's been doing some great moves here. Now a 2-player advantage. Good rep. Ivory Coast maybe bringing it back. Well, lots of balls for Denmark. They go on ball. No, they do not.
Oh, and an unfortunate shag means Denmark gets ball advantage as well.
Number 12, Lassana Koulibaly. He's got 2 balls in hands. The player burden is Denmark. Good ups. And we are at the end of the half, which means we are entering no blocking. So congratulations, Côte d'Ivoire. You are the winners. Gagne. Bon joué, Côte d'Ivoire. There's no blocking now. Now, here we are, 3 players. Oh, confirming, yeah. 3 players to 2, no blocking. Blocking hasn't been the difference maker, though, so far this match. Expect a couple on target. We do, and that does it. Now 1v3.
Denmark has a chance here to get a point on the board, and really every point actually does matter here in round robin, because 1 point can mean the difference between seeding and where you end up seeding in bracket later on.
And whether you get the elusive 4th spot or if you're left out, it's a big bracket here. And congratulations, both teams. Denmark putting a point on the board. Côte d'Ivoire with the win. You've just watched the end of day 1, round robin. Tune in 9 a.m. Central European summertime for day 2 of this contest. You've been watching the 2024 World Dodgeball Championships here in Graz, Austria. Good night.
Good night.